am a big fan of you personally, but also of your new website. I guess it's not quite so new. So we are brave together. It's just a fabulous mission that you are enduring for so many people. So why don't you share with us a little bit more about it?
Sure, I would love to. We Are Brave Together is a nonprofit organization, and we launched in July of 2017 with a ton of passion and lots of dreams and ideas. We launched with a summer party in my backyard and just asked moms to come who were interested, moms who are caregiving moms to children any age with any disability diagnosis or challenge. We invited them to come for a night off and a kickoff night for We Are Brave Together. And since then, we got a website, we got our nonprofit status, and have increased our community to almost 1,300 moms internationally. And what we are offering is support and education and resources and respite for special needs moms or moms caring for children with any kind of extra needs. And so when we launched, we started off with support groups, traditional support groups in Southern California. And we offered workshops and retreats, low-cost retreats, hopefully to make it accessible for moms to get a weekend off. And so we continued to roll with that and continued to grow until COVID hit. And just like everybody else, we pivoted and went virtual with everything, which was a blessing in disguise for us because it's something we wanted to do and we hadn't done yet, because there are moms who can't leave their lives. And so even if I had a support group and a retreat in every city and state of the country, there are still moms who can't leave their lives. So how do we offer them support? So we have Zoom support groups and Zoom educational workshops, and we did a virtual retreat last year. But we are very excited to get back in person, and we are working towards that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. It is a silver lining to be able to maybe expand in a different way that you had planned originally, but then it took a little longer to get there, right?
Right. Yes. Go ahead.
And sorry to interrupt you, but I was just saying when you said that you had expanded and you had grown into places, you mentioned, are you international as well?
We are. We just launched our first international support group in Ontario, Canada last night.
Oh, wow.
So we have membership from outside the United States. People find us through social media. That's the beauty of social media. I just had a mom join from Slovenia who found us through an interview that I did on Beyond Type 1 Diabetes, beyond t1d.org. I did an interview and she has a child with diabetes. And so she found out about us and joined our community. And it's exciting that people can just be a part of it across the miles.
It's very exciting. It's really neat, and how quickly you've expanded. I mean, within the last 3 to 4 years to grow that much is exciting for you, I bet.
It's very exciting. It's wonderful to see the growth despite COVID. We started all these satellite support groups in the last year, and I had not anticipated that there would be that much growth in the middle of a pandemic. But a lot of moms just rose up and said, can I start a support group where I'm at? And it's very easy to facilitate a support group for We Are Brave. And so we trained many moms last year to facilitate and network and lead some groups for us. And so we're hoping to expand on that for sure.
Well, and I know your passion started from, your story, and as did Matt for me, both of us having our kids with special needs. And I'm sure maybe you can share your story, and then maybe a story that has inspired you along the way in your We Are Mapped Together mission.
So Ryan is my special guy. He's going to be 18, which I can't even believe, because I can go back to when we got the phone call, the scary phone call from our pediatrician when Ryan was 5 weeks old, telling us that he had Prader-Willi syndrome. And now he's 18, and what a journey it's been. And right away, my husband and I got involved in the Prader-Willi California Foundation and also the national organization. We jumped into a support group. We found other families who were experiencing the same syndrome and found people who were ahead of us in the journey. So we had mentors. And then when Ryan entered the school district, we also found our tribe there, navigating our particular school district and learning the world of IEPs and goals and services. And so I have always benefited from community and connection. And so that is why I also wanted to launch We Are Brave together, because I thought moms are overwhelmed, and some are so overwhelmed that the thought of even creating any type of community is just too much. Or maybe you're an introvert. So I thought, well, gosh, if I create We Are Brave and put on all these gatherings, then maybe moms can just show up and they can have a sense of belonging and see other moms who understand them and who really get it and feel seen and heard and understood. A little bit more about Ryan is that, and I always say there's no cocktail party answer to explain Prader-Willi syndrome, but he was born with low muscle tone. And so that means all your milestones are delayed. Ryan didn't walk till he was 3. He had a feeding tube his first year of life. And eventually he caught up on everything. But that's what the early years are focused on. And then if Prader-Willi syndrome makes the news, it's because in childhood there is an insatiable food drive that kicks in. And gosh, when we read about that, when Ryan was first diagnosed, it was so scary because it's life-threatening. And you just can't even believe that this is real, that this goes on, that this is actually part of a syndrome. And so Ryan's food drive was definitely a slow burn. We didn't have to lock up our kitchen until he was 13. And then we had to be ever vigilant by the time he was about 16, meaning do not leave the fridge unlocked for a minute to go to the bathroom, because he will pay attention to that minute and go to the kitchen and grab something. So I'm grateful that it didn't start at age 5, but we're in the thick of it, and it definitely alters family life for sure. It alters daily life.
Yeah.
Sure.
And why don't you just explain a little bit about Prader-Willi syndrome? Because I think that's a good, maybe I know that it's, I mean, not super common.
Right.
So maybe a lot of people don't know that much about it.
So Prader-Willi syndrome, it's rare. It's 1 in 10 to 15,000 cases. It's marked by the hypotonia in infancy. And usually kids also are called failure to thrive. Babies are, because they don't cry for food and they don't wake for food. It is a spectrum disorder. So you've got the gamut of very, very low tone, like Ryan, who didn't walk till he was 3, even though he was on growth hormone, or kids who walk at 18 months to age 2. Like I said, the early years are all focused on OT, PT, and speech. So all the therapies to help them with their milestones, gross motor, fine motor, speech. There is an impact on cognition, academics. Anxiety is a huge factor in PWS and behaviors. There are a few different genetic subtypes, and there are some slight differences among that, but generally the symptoms, the clinical display is very similar. Although I'm on a thread with 6 other Prader-Willi moms, and the way the food drive is displayed can be very different to different degrees.
Right. Well, I thank you for that explanation, because I mean, I've talked about that before, but now that he's a little bit older, you're in a different phase and in a different, and so it's, it's great to catch up and to see where you guys are in your journey now. And what you've been able to create with your program and your website. And so can you tell us a little bit more about like what your next steps are? Like, what are you thinking for goals? I mean, are you going to still keep it as a support group, or do you think you're going to expand it into something more?
Well, what we would love to do is to be able to expand the satellite support groups. So start more support groups in other cities and states and countries. We would really like to expand on our retreats because we keep them intimate. It's usually about 24 to 30 moms, and we don't really want to get bigger than that because it loses something special. But it's just going to require a lot of fundraising because we only charge a little bit amount. This year for our coming retreat, we're charging $200. It pretty much costs about $400 or so per mom to make these retreats happen. And we would like to do more of them because we know that the need is there for moms to be able to get a break, for one, and to have that connection and community experience with being with other moms who really understand, being able to let down, being able to get rest. And we hire wonderful speakers so that moms can leave with some inspiration, strength, and practical takeaways as they go back into their lives. So our hope is that we would be able to really expand on that.
Well, that's exciting. It is such a necessary, resource. As you explained your journey, every mom and parent and caregiver who has a special needs child, adult, whatever at this point, it's a journey for sure. And navigating through it, you need that support. You need that community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do. I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't had the mentors and had all the community around me. I've never felt alone in my journey. In the very beginning, yes. But then once I established community, then I knew I wasn't having to navigate this all by myself. And that was critical for my survival, and not just surviving, but thriving in the midst of chronic hardship.
Yeah. Well, we're all people too. So it's important that we take care of ourselves as much as we take care of our loved ones.
I agree. And that's what I'm on my soapbox about often, because if you're the caregiver, you're really the most important person in the family. And if you go down, the ship goes down. So it's really important that we do take care of ourselves in every way. That's
great. Well, again, I'm so happy that you're with us today, and sharing your story is amazing. And that was part of our goal, is to start bringing our resources and people like you that we highlight in our MAP website to life, that people can hear a little bit more about what you're doing, and they can find you. So why don't you tell us where they can find you so that they can reach out to you?
Sure. You can join the community of We Are Brave by going to our website, wearebravetogether.com. And we also are on Instagram at We Are Brave Together. We have a podcast called Brave Together with Jessica Patay on iTunes and Spotify. And on our Instagram page, we have a link tree. So everything is there. You can easily access our blog, our podcast, our website.
I'm excited to see how much you guys continue to keep growing, because you have done so much work as it is. And I think the sky's the limit for this, because there's so many people out there that need, all this support and can, hopefully find you and keep you growing.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. And I'll look forward to staying in touch with you.
Okay, Marikay, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Hi, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our session. We look forward to bringing you more interviews and our resources to you to find more information about them. In addition, if you'd like to find more information and more resources, you can go to our website, macyandpebble.com, or join our Facebook group and also our newsletter. Again, thank you.